join us as partners for this series as well. Today's C3, Maintaining Balance, Online Yoga for Caregivers, will feature Ellen McKay with Yoga for Caregivers. Before we get started, I want to mention to all attendees that this session is recorded and will be available in the Guides tab on HHCC or on our website. Also, we would love to hear suggestions on future topics to discuss and any speakers you'd like to see featured. If you have any ideas, please send them to us via email at events@elizabethdolefoundation.org. With all of that said, we will take questions towards the end. Today's moderator, Tina Cordova, will be hanging out in the chat box. Be sure to submit any questions using the Q&A box located in the Zoom control panel. We'll be taking note of all the questions to get them answered live during our Q&A. Today, we'll be selecting 4 winners for our webinar participants during the episode. To enter into the drawing, just engage with us in the chat. Today's winners will receive a free Hidden Heroes yoga mat. Today's C3 features closed captioning. If you would like to disable it, go to the live transcript button in the Zoom control panel and click Disable Auto Transcription. It can be disabled at any time during the webinar. Now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ellen as we get started.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our class today. So I'm going to use a chair for the beginning of class. I'm just going to set it up here. If you are in a chair and you're practicing with us today, just go ahead and get comfortable. And I would say make sure it's not a chair that's going to roll around like an office chair, something that can stay stuck down to the ground and won't slide up from underneath you. If you are using a yoga mat, you can find your way down and have a seated into a seated position. You can even lay down on your back if that feels more comfortable for you. We're going to start with some breathing exercises and then we'll get into some movement. So wherever you are, find a comfortable position. Maybe if you're seated, let those feet kind of connect down to the mat. If you're laying on your back, maybe let those shoulders soften down towards the floor. But wherever you are, you can close your eyes if you want. And if you not want to close your eyes, that's totally fine. But maybe find something that you can focus on that will just let you kind of bleed out any other distractions. So let's take a couple breaths together in through the nose and then just let it out through the mouth. So let's do that again. In through the nose and then out through the mouth. Wonderful. One more time. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Great. Again, eyes can be closed if you choose. So first, we're just going to observe the breath. The breath is one of the best tools in our yoga toolbox to help relieve stress, anxiety, and to promote relaxation, to promote that sense of renewal and that feeling of resetting. So as you just notice your breath, maybe you just notice the inhale and exhale, the place in the body where you feel the breath moving. So maybe you feel your belly expand and soften, or maybe it's more in the chest. Maybe you feel it somewhere in the back or the shoulders. Just bring your awareness to that space, feeling that rise and fall, that expansion and relaxation. A couple breaths just noticing here. Wonderful. And if you choose, you can begin to expand the breath. So maybe take it a little bit deeper. We tend to kind of breathe shorter breaths through the upper part of the lungs. So we feel that chest kind of move. But see if you can take that breath all the way down, filling out maybe the belly or the rib cage as well as the chest. And then after that nice full inhale, exhale out all the breath. You can even kind of feel the belly button hug in towards the spine a little bit, really releasing all that breath. So you can take another full breath right after that. So we'll do that a few more times, maybe about 5 more rounds of breath, just like that. Inhale to your fullest capacity, whatever feels good today. Exhale, let it all the way out. Good. 4 more to go. Your pace, your timing. Nice. Great. We're going to keep going with that full breath, but I want you to take a little more inventory of your breath. See how long you can take your inhale. So maybe it's a count of 4 or 6 or somewhere in between. Maybe it's another number entirely, but find that one number and then try to have your exhale the same length. So if you're inhaling for a 4, exhale for a 4. And just practice that a few more rounds. And if you decide to change the number, change the number. Always remember that this practice today is all about for what makes you feel comfortable, what makes your body feel more relaxed, what is beneficial to you today. I'll take about 3 more rounds of that full breath. Good. So remember that number in your mind. We'll kind of come back to that throughout class today. If you're laying flat onto the mat, go ahead and come up and join us in a seated position. Again, you can always sit in a chair or you can sit on your mat, and whatever comfortable seated position is for you, go ahead and find it. Legs don't have to be crossed or anything in particular, just kind of find a way that you can have a tall spine. So if you're in your chair, you might be able to scoot a little bit more forward. That might allow you to feel a little bit more upright. And we'll start some movement here. Let's take those arms out and up. And you don't have to take them all the way overhead. You can also bring them in front some if that feels better for the shoulders. Bring the palms together to meet in front. Let's do that again. Reach those arms out and up. Get some movement in through shoulder joints in the upper body, palms together. And bring the hands down. Good. Again, reach out and up. Really try to take up all that space. Hands come together and in front of the heart. One more time. Take it out and up. Good. And palms come to meet. Great. Another really great tool from our yoga practice is setting an intention. And an intention can be set anytime, the beginning of your day, when you kind of just need to regroup or you need something else. So maybe those palms stay together in front of the heart and you can set an intention for the rest of our practice today, or maybe even the rest of your day. It can be something really, really simple. It's good to maybe find just one word, a word or a picture in your mind, something that maybe anchors you or helps you kind of come back to this breath, this moment, this time. Good. On that next inhale, imagine like you're breathing in that intention, lift those arms up, palms come together, and you bring that intention right into the heart, right into your center. Great. Let's add some more. Inhale, lift the arms again. This time we're going to twist to the right. So if you're in your chair, you can take the right hand to the side of the chair or the back of the chair. If you're seated, you can take your arm to the side or bring it behind you. That left hand can cross over. Inhale, lift up really, really tall first, and then exhale, start to twist. First with the belly, then the chest, then the head. Don't have to go very far. Just start to find that twist for yourself. Keeping those feet nice and grounded if you're in a chair, spine long wherever you are. On the next inhale, lift those arms back up and let's go to the other side. Find that position for the left hand, find the position for that right hand, lift up really, really tall and exhale, twist. Good, few more breaths here. Remember thinking about that long spine, belly, chest, and head can turn a little bit, but just be aware of that neck. Inhale, reach those hands back up and bring the hands together into prayer again in front of the heart. Good. Hands can come down to the legs. Let's bring the shoulders up and back a few times. Get a good little squeeze there, especially if you tend to hold your tension in your shoulders. Super commonplace for tension. Usually it's either in your shoulders or your low back. Good. One more time. Wonderful. Let's bring the shoulders to the ears, give them a good little squeeze, and then just let gravity do the work and let them drop. Good. Let's do it again. Inhale. And you can exhale out with that ha breath. Again, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, let it go. Great. Chin's going to gently go down towards the chest. And we'll start with a little bit of movement side to side with the head. So just kind of getting into neck and shoulder space, stretching through those areas. And as you move the head side to side, maybe also notice the jaw. So we have a tendency sometimes to clench the jaw or squeeze the teeth together. So just see if you can maybe soften the jaw and even the muscles around the mouth, the lips, the cheeks. We're going to take the head to the right side and start to make little circles with your chin. Going in one direction and then the other. Good. Then find that one spot. There's might be one or two or three maybe, but find one spot where you want to focus on. And your left fingertips can reach down towards the mat, or you can reach down and maybe find the chair or the leg of the chair. And breathe. Come back to that same number. So maybe it's a 4, maybe it's a 5, maybe it's something else entirely. Full inhale and full exhale. Let's do one more. And then on your exhale, slowly release, bring the head to center. And we're going to shift it slowly to the left side. Same thing here. We'll start with those little circles for the chin. Go in one direction to start out. And then go the other direction. Stirring as you go. Great. Find a place to pause. Find that one area that might need a little more attention. Right fingertips can reach down towards the floor, or maybe you find the side of the chair here. And breathe. Find that number again. Full inhale and full exhale. 3 more breaths. Slowly release, bring the head again back to center, all the way back up, and roll the shoulders up and back again. Good. One more time. Wonderful. Let's take another shrug and let it drop. Again, and let it drop. Great. Let's get into the side body a bit. Inhale, reach the arms up. You're going to take your right hand down. So if you're sitting on a mat, just bring those fingertips down towards the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, grab a hold of the side of the chair, or maybe bring the hand to the thigh, whatever feels good. We're going to start to reach those left fingertips over towards that right side. So feeling that stretch here, maybe along through that right side, through the left side of the waist, through the back, maybe. Good, bring it back to center and we'll switch. So take that left hand down either to the mat or the chair or the thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Breathe into that right side of the chest and the waist. Try to stay nice and connected to the chair. So have that even seated position, reaching down into that right hip. Same as if you're on the mat. And bring it back to center. Good. Take those hands back, palms facing forward, reach back. Get a little bit of opening through the chest and squeeze through those back muscles. And then we're going to swim those arms forward and around the spine, like you're hugging a big beach ball here. Good. Then sweep those hands back. And you can either hold onto the wrist, clasp the hands, or if you've got a chair here, maybe you just grab the sides of the chair and open up through the chest again. Good. Yes. Great. Swim those hands forward again. Hug your big beach ball. Pull the belly button back. And then sweep those arms back again. Maybe wrists, hold on to wrists, clasp the fingers, or find the chair. And we'll hug that big beach ball one more time. Good. Bring the hands down again towards the mat. Roll the shoulders up and back. Let's take the arms out wide. And if you'd like, you can kind of point those thumbs back a little bit, turning those shoulders out, getting a little more of a stretch here through that chest space. Right arm's going to go on top. Give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe even roll around a little bit here. So that can feel really nice around that shoulder blade or mid-back area. And then spread those arms out wide. Big, big stretch. Maybe turn those thumbs back behind you. Good. We're going to take left arm on top this time. Give yourself another big hug. And again, roll it around if you want. Stay with your breath. Good. Open it up. We're going to take that right arm on top again. This time we're going to change it up a little bit. So you can keep the arms right here, especially if that feels great for shoulders, neck, upper back. If you want to try another shape here, you can keep those elbows stacked and maybe you can hook the fingers together. Maybe you can bring those palms towards each other. Doesn't really matter what shape you make. Just make sure that it feels good for your body today. Good. Take a few breaths and maybe even imagine like you could feel that breath expand through the shoulder blades and then soften that mid back. One more breath here. And soften. Good. Arms reach out again. Nice big stretch. Maybe reach those thumbs back. And then we're going to take left arm on top. Same thing here. Give yourself that nice big hug. Or if you want, hook the fingers. Palms can come towards each other. Let's stay with that breath. Same number, same count of breath. Good. 2 more breaths here. Nice. Release those arms. Spread them out wide one more time. Maybe turn those thumbs back. And release the hands down to the legs. Roll the shoulders up and back again. Let's do one more shrug of the shoulders here up towards the ears. And then drop them down. Good. If you're seated on a mat, legs can stay exactly where they are. If you're in a chair, maybe take the feet a little bit wider. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. We're going to do a bit of forward bending, so getting some stretching in through that back body. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward. So that's kind of where we're getting our movement from. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see here. So instead of this, I want you to try to tilt forward. So you don't have to go very far forward. You can always bring hands to thighs or forearms. If you're on the mat, you can bring those fingertips out in front of you onto the floor. But we're just going to start to fold a little forward. And you can really choose how far you go. We want to stay with that nice long spine. So long, long spine. Lifting out through the crown of the head, start to fold forward. Hands again can come to thighs. You can maybe bring the hands down to the shins or the feet or the floor. Just take a few more breaths wherever you are. Big full breaths in and big full breaths out. Good. 2 more just like that. Inhale and exhale. And again. Good. Hands slowly walk back up, come back upright, sweep those arms out and up. Exhale, bring the hands together in front of the heart. Let's bring the hands down to the legs. On the inhale, tilt the pelvis up again a little forward, lift up through the chest. So kind of arching my spine here, lifting up, maybe take a little look up. And then on the exhale, I'm going to round back. So tilt the pelvis back, round through the spine, hug that belly button in. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Good. Couple more times. And back. Nice. And again. And back. Good. Bring it back to center. All right, so we're going to come to standing. If you want to stay in your chair, you can. I'm going to give you some different options while you're there. If you want to continue to use your chair but come to standing, please feel free. If you're on the floor, find your way up, however it works. I'm just going to move my chair a little bit over this way. If you are using a chair and you want to use it for balance or for steadiness, make sure it's on something that's not going to slide away. So I put mine on the edge of my yoga mat so I can't move it because I want it to be there for me when I need it. Let's take the feet nice and wide. So you can have, it kind of depends on your balance and your stability, a little bit wider than hips. So you kind of choose how wide you want to go out. Turn the toes out a little bit and bend the knees. Small little bend in the knees, and we're just going to move a little side to side. So let's just get some movement in through the hips and the knees. Good. If you're seated in your chair, go ahead and just bend the knees, circle the ankles, move the toes. Maybe even just send some energy down towards the legs, like you're sending a current of energy down towards the toes. Good. Great. Bring it all back to center. And you're going to turn your right toes towards the short side of your mat, left toes turning a little bit. Chair can be helpful to the side if you want some extra balance. So we're going to take that right foot and bend the right knee. Left leg, the heel can be down or the heel can be lifted. You get to choose. Use that chair as much for balance as you want. Staying right here if you want, or maybe those arms rise up. You can keep one hand on the chair if you feel great here. Maybe you take both fingertips up towards the ceiling and just pause for 3 breaths. So remember that breath in and out. Keep those legs really strong. Lift the chest up. Good. You got it. Send that energy down towards the feet. Maybe those arms rise. Chest is lifted. Last breath here. Wonderful. Release. Walk those feet together. And we're going to switch. So now take that other foot, left foot forward, right foot back. Good. Bend that knee. Inhale. Arms can lift up if you'd like, or maybe you hold on to the chair. Nice and tall. Good. Feeling lots of stretches through that back leg, through the front leg, lifting up tall through the spine. Wonderful. 2 more breaths here. Soften those shoulders a little bit. Great, release that arm down. Find your way back again to center. All right, go ahead and shake those feet out a little bit. So again, feel free to use that chair for some balance. Let's maybe circle ankles, bend the toes. Great. Let's find that wide stance again. Again, we're going to turn the right toes out, left toes turn in. Going to keep facing towards me and bend the right knee. You can always move that chair however you need it. Maybe it feels better to be out in front by that right foot so you have a place to lean, and we're going to take that left arm out to the side, maybe the right arm out as well. Good. If you're seated in your chair, feel that energy moving down towards the feet, spread those arms out wide, lift up tall through the spine. Working on that core support so we can take those nice full breaths. Shoulders soften. Good. Great. Straighten that right leg. Release those arms down. Keep the legs straight here. Take that right hand either to the chair or down towards the hip or the thigh and lift those left fingertips up. So feel free to add that support with the chair as much as you'd like. If you're sitting in the chair, you're going to do a side stretch. So take the right hand down to the side of the chair and reach that left arm up and over. Good. Bring it all the way back up. Wonderful. Now we're going to switch. So turn those left toes out, right toes turn in. Or if you're using that chair, you can just kind of switch so that chair's in the same position. Left knee bends. Arms reach out. Find some balance. Find some stability and steadiness. Shoulders soften down from the ears. Good. Breathe, 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 breathe. And as we take this pause, maybe you remember your intention that you set at the beginning of class. Good. Sending that energy down towards the feet. 2 more breaths. You're doing great. Keep it going. Wonderful. Release those arms down, straighten the leg. Again, if you've got that chair there, take the hand to the top of the chair or the hand to the thigh. Back arm or right arm lifts up and over. And if you're seated in your chair, take your left hand down by the side. Right arm reaches up and over and find your side stretch. Good. This is called triangle. Two more breaths. Feel like you could get as long and tall as you can. Wherever you are, find length. Just keep finding length. The more length we find, the better. It helps us to increase our lung capacity, to stretch through those muscles, find some more space. Go ahead, bring it all the way back to center and release. Slowly walk those feet back in and give it all a little shake. Shaking is always good. It just kind of helps soften up any tension that we might be holding and not really know. Good. You got it. Let's try a little balance. Okay, so take the weight to the right foot. This is a great time to use your chair. If you have a wall nearby, this is great too. Take your weight over to your right foot, left toes touch. You can take your left arm out to the side. If you're not using a chair, maybe take both hands out. That helps with balance. And we're going to slowly start to lift that left foot. So you can keep the toe down onto the mat or you can lift it up. Good. We're just going to practice this first round. Just kind of see how it feels here. Wobble around as you can kind of feel that right foot moving side to side. Just know you're strengthening all those great balancing muscles. And then take that left leg down, shake it out again. Good. Let's try the other side. Weight shifts to the left. Right toes touch. Again, use some support if you'd like, or take the hands wide. Right toes can touch onto the mat, or maybe you start to lift that right foot. Good. Two more breaths. Tap it down as many times as you need to. If you come out, just come back in. Good. Release. Check it out. Okay, let's add something a little bit more here if you want. Right foot down. Again, use your chair if you like. Left toes touch, left foot lifts. Okay, so now we're going to add a little more balance challenge here today. See if you can stir your foot around like you're stirring a big pot. Okay, stir it around. So definitely changes balance for sure. Makes that standing foot work harder. All those little stabilizers to work harder. Good, stir the other direction. Don't forget to breathe, keep breathing. Good. Couple more stirs. Wonderful. And then set it down. Good, shake it out. Shake those feet out, circle the ankles, bend the toes. Let's try the other side. Onto the left foot. Right toes touch. Find your way. Take that right foot up if you want. And then maybe start that stir. Good. Slower is a little easier. Feel those changes in your standing leg. Know that you're doing great work here. Good, and then stir the other direction. Got it. Keep going. A few more breaths. And release it down. Good. Shake it out. We're going to do a standing forward fold. Chairs are great here. They kind of give you a good in-between spot to stop in if you don't want to go all the way down to the floor. So you're going to take your feet really wide. If you're using your chair, you're going to face your chair. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see me. So feet wide, again, a little bit wider than hip distance. They don't have to be super wide. Hands come to the hips. Lift up really, really tall, and then you're going to start to fold forward. So check in with your knees here. You want to have a little bend in the knees so the knees stay nice and happy. Hands can come to the thighs, or maybe that chair that's out in front of you, right? We're leaning forward, folding forward. Maybe hands come to the thighs. Maybe they come all the way down to the shins. If you happen to have a yoga block with you, you can use that too, but the chair is great for that. And the reason I really like using the chair is you can change you can go as far as you want. So you can stay up at the top, you can come down towards the seat, you can even come down towards that bottom rung in the chair if you have one like mine. So it gives you lots of different options for stopping places. Let's take 2 more breaths. Wherever you are. Good. Slowly come back up. Walk those feet back in. And again, give those legs a little shake. Great. Let's do one more standing pose here. So let's come into star pose. Feet are wide, arms are wide. Great. If you're in your chair, maybe you just take those legs out as wide as you can, arms out as wide, and send energy outwards. So we're trying to press energy out towards the feet, out towards those fingertips, up towards the top of the head, really taking up as much space as you can. If you want to add a little more balance here, shift the weight over to the right foot, let those left toes touch. Maybe you find your chair. Good. If you're choosing that balance option, let's switch it over to the left foot. Right toes can touch, or maybe that right foot lifts. Yeah. Good, and then bring it back down. Release those arms down. Give it all a good little shake. Okay, we're gonna come back to a seated position. Again, you can come back into your chair if you've got one. You can come down to the mat if you want. Find your way there. Roll shoulders up and back. This is always a great little trick to use, just kind of rolling those shoulders whenever you feel yourself maybe tensing up. You're driving, or if you're working or working on paperwork, making phone calls, take that little time. Good. Shoulder shrugs always good. Let's add that in. Up and then let it down. Again. And down. Great. From here, if it's comfortable for you, we're going to do a little more stretching with the hips, thighs, legs area. So take, if you're in your chair, go ahead and scoot to the edge of your chair. I'm actually going to turn sideways so you can see me a little bit better. Scoot towards the edge of the chair and take your right leg long, left knee is going to be bent. So if you are sitting on the mat, it's going to be exactly the same shape. You're going to take your right leg long and take your left knee out to the side. Get nice and tall wherever you are. You can lift those arms up towards the ceiling if you want, lift up really, really tall. And then exhale, you're going to start to tilt forward. So again, tilt that pelvis forward. Hands can come to the thigh. You can walk those fingertips down, maybe to the shin. Stay nice and tall, and we're going to get a good stretch through the hamstring here, through the back of that right thigh. And breathe. Most important part, breathe. Good. Use those hands to walk your way back up, and we'll switch it out. So take your right leg in, left leg out. If you're on the mat, take that knee out to the side. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, fold forward. Find your place to stop here. Find that stretch for the back of the left leg. Try to keep a tall spine. And breathe. Two more breaths. And slowly come back up. Great. Bring that left leg in and give those thighs a little rub. Thighs maybe down towards the shins, calves. You can even give them a little tap. Good. This time we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees up to the sides. So if you're sitting on a mat, you'll take the soles of the feet towards each other and bring the knees outward. Inhale, you'll get tall wherever you are. Exhale, start to tilt forward. Hands can stay on the legs, on the feet, wherever you are. Just find the stretch that works here. 2 more breaths. Inhale, come back up. Good. And if you're seated on the mat, just bring the legs into a comfortable seated position. If you're seated in a chair, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Let's bring the shoulders up and back again. Good, we'll do another twist. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, we're gonna twist to the right. If you're in your chair, take that right hand to the back or the side of the chair. Left hand can cross over to the right thigh. If you're seated on the mat, just follow along with me, lifting up tall. Exhale, twisting. On the next inhale, hands are gonna rise back up. And let's try it to the other side. Softening jaw, softening muscles around the mouth and the eyes. And then reach those hands back up. And we'll just fold forward all together. So hands can come down to the thighs. If you're on the mat, you can walk your fingertips forward. If you're sitting in your chair, just take those feet a little bit wider. And then find that forward fold. Elbows might come to the thighs, hands might come to the thighs. And gently come back up. Bring the shoulders up and back. Nice. So from here, if you are on your mat and you want to go all the way down towards the back, you can. Or if you're in your chair, get nice and comfy. As you find your most comfortable position, especially if you're laying down on the mat, make sure that the head, shoulders, neck feel supported. And wherever you are, take the feet about hip distance, and we're just gonna rock the knees side to side. If you're in your chair, you can take a little lean back and just kind of feel that support from the back of the chair, taking the knees side to side, getting some movement into the hips. And if you're on a mat, you can allow those knees to drop over to one side and the other, maybe getting a little bit of a twist. Good. And bring it all back to center. Feet are going to stay where they are. On the inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Find that nice big stretch. And exhale, bring the hands back down. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, take it down. Good. Keep going like that a few more times with your own pace of breath. So maybe you come back to that count, that 4 or 5, whatever it is that has worked for you today through class. Again. And last time, lift it up. And take it down. Good. Let's take the head a little side to side. Softening again around the neck and jaw and shoulders. And eventually, just finding your way into your most comfortable position. So if you're lying on the mat, you can straighten the legs out. You can let the arms rest out to the side. You can keep the knees bent. Maybe it feels better to be seated. You can do that too. If you're in your chair, again, maybe take a little lean back. Just allow yourself to soften into that chair. And then start to feel that softening around the forehead, the temples, the cheeks. Let it move down through the neck and the shoulders. arms, wrists, hands. Down through chest and belly. Back, legs, ankles, and feet. Maybe those eyes are closed. Or just relaxing the muscles around the eyes. And find your way back to your breath. So back to that count you started with in the beginning of class. Maybe staying with that count, or if you'd like, start to take your exhale a little longer. So if your inhale is a 4, maybe see if your exhale can be a 5 or a 6. Every exhale, just letting the body soften. From the top of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet. Letting the entire body rest. And sometimes as the body quiets, the mind begins to become more active. So if you notice the mind kind of wandering off, bring your awareness back again to that breath count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe even reminding yourself of your intention that you set at the beginning of this class. Wherever you are, slowly begin to blink the eyes open. Maybe bringing those palms together in front of the heart. Thank you so much for joining me in class today. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel a little bit more refreshed, relaxed, renewed.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellen. Well, we've had a couple of questions coming in the chat here throughout the session, so I'm just going to get us started.
Wonderful.
So someone said, I enjoyed the use of the chair yoga during today's program. Does your team regularly teach chair or adaptive yoga?
Yes, we do. On our group page on Facebook, we have a chair class every other Thursday, every first and third Thursday by our wonderful Sonia. And the great thing about our group is that even though those classes are every other Thursday, they're always on there. So we record them and they stay up on our group so you can access them at any time.
Awesome. Thank you. We had another question come in. She said,
Okay.
I love the balance exercises. Can you tell me, is it common to have better balance on one leg than the other at first?
Yes, that is a great question. And that is definitely common. There's usually one side that's easier than the other. And that's just how it is for all I would say 99% of people that I know, and especially for myself as well.
Awesome. So someone else said, I love coming to these yoga classes, but I have a really busy schedule. How often should I be doing yoga to feel the benefits?
Great question. Okay, so today we did about 40 minutes. The great thing about yoga is that you can get benefits from yoga in a much smaller time frame. So if you don't have 40 minutes every day, that's great. Maybe do some of those breathing exercises. You can do, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Anything that you can fit into your schedule will be beneficial. If you can fit in a longer class like we did today, maybe just try once a week. But the most important thing about yoga is that it's supposed to be relaxing, not stressful. So if you feel like trying to fit longer classes or fit a lot of classes into your week is stressful, then just take it back and find something that really works for you and what you've got going on.
Awesome, thank you. So someone else asked, as a caregiver to an older veteran, are these yoga techniques safe for everyday use for an older crowd?
Yeah, I would say so. Anything that we teach here today, and I would say the majority of what's available on our group is very accessible. Breath work is great, and it's always up to you. That's really what we try to say over and over again, is that it's really finding what feels good for you today, because our body changes every day. And sometimes we have a lot of energy, sometimes we don't. So even taking any of those movement is always great. Movement is great for the body, especially in these slow, gentle ways that we practice. And our breathing exercises and our visualization, our meditation, all of that is great for any age.
Awesome. We had a couple more come in. So are there any other simple techniques aside from yoga you use daily to help with stress?
Yes. So on our group, we have a wonderful teacher that does tapping. It is definitely very accessible. You don't need a mat. You just need to show up. And she teaches it. It's about 15, maybe 10 minutes. And it's great for stress relief, anxiety. So that's a really other great option to do. And you can check out on our group if you like.
Awesome, just a couple more. So are in-person classes better than online yoga?
I think that's up to you. It's really about how you show up. If you show up to an online class and you're here and you can stay kind of focused. It's a little bit harder sometimes when you're doing yoga from home, for sure. But as long as you're present, breathing, moving how it feels good for you, any class is just as great as another.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps up all our questions we had today. So I'm going to go ahead and announce our prize winners. So congratulations to Rosie Dotson, Gail French, Anessa Hornback, and Vincent Sanchez. Congratulations to you all. Please email us directly at events@elizabethdolefoundation.org with a good mailing address, and we will get those yoga mats over to you. So Ellen, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to cover today?
Not that I can think of, no. Thank you so much for having us. We are so grateful to be here with Yoga for Caregivers, and it's just such a blessing that we get to be here with you. So thank you so much for having us here.
Yes, thank you. We love doing this series with you all. So everyone, if you are not already registered with HHCC, we definitely encourage you to join our Facebook group for updates. Our group is an inclusive community for military and veteran caregivers of all service eras. If you care for a wounded, ill, or injured service member or veteran, we would love to welcome you into our community. Just visit hiddenheroes.org/register to get started. Be on the lookout for a follow-up email from us that will include the recording of today's webinar, which will also be up on our YouTube page later today, Ellen's resources and organization info, and the link to register with Hidden Heroes. Don't forget to register for next month's session on June 8th. Registration is required for each month's Maintaining Balance yoga session. To register, please visit hiddenheroes.org/C3. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And a big thank you to our partners at Wounded Warrior Project and the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs for supporting our C3 series. We hope you enjoyed today's C3. Stay in touch and have a wonderful day. Thank you guys.
Thank you.